What's up, y'all? My name is David, and today we're going to be talking about why I probably will never own a KTM, and kind of also reviewing my friend's Mc350. He's got a gas. It's a 2024, so it's the newer model, I think. I think they made some changes to the frame, but it's pretty much the same. It is the gas, so it doesn't have like the map switch. So I think it would be like slightly more aggressive if it had that. But so the other day, my friend let me ride his gas 350, and part of me loved it, and on the other hand, I also hated it so much. Sadly, I didn't get any footage of me riding, because I actually put my GoPro on my friend because he loves small bore 125s and he can ride them pretty well. So I wanted to get him riding my 125. So first off, I'm gonna go over the parts that I loved about this bike and just like different things about this gas 350F, and then I'm going to go into the reasons why I probably will never own a KTM, gas or Husqvarna. The motor was like the number one part of this bike. It was so freaking good. I'm like in love with that motor. There was no engine braking. It just coasted so well, and at the same time it had so much pickup power. It didn't feel like too much snappier than my 250, but I could lug it and be like in second gear going super duper slow, and then I could hit the throttle and ride the entire track if I wanted to in second gear. It was crazy. I could basically like crawl around in second gear and then just hit it and hit any jump or anything like that. Like if you wanted to, you could just come at a stop in the corners and then turn it back on and easily go over any jump. It was so good. It's what I wanted. It's what I like want out of a motor. It's perfect in my eyes. It's not like a 450. It doesn't make the bike feel like a 450, but it's got so much power that you can lug it around. I don't like to rev my bikes out, and so this bike would be perfect for that because it has so much power down low, not too much, but then at the same time it can pull forever, so I don't have to shift. And a little bit about me is I blew up the transmission on my 250F earlier this year, and that because I had to shift a lot, and like the same straightaway I might have to shift 3 times on my 250F. On that 350 I could probably go without shifting. I could keep it in second gear, and so it just to me that's like the perfect motor. It's so powerful and yet so smooth, and then at the same time it feels like a two-stroke, which I love. When like it comes to the engine braking, it has like none, and I like that so much more because I like to that's one of the reasons why I love being low in the RPMs, because it's just no engine braking, super smooth. I can kind of do my thing, doesn't disrupt the chassis as much, and I feel like you need engine braking, just shift down. So that part of the bike I was pretty much in love. I think even if I had that switch, it would just make the bike just that little bit better. The map switch, it basically felt like a super fast 250F. I don't know, just like a modded 250F. It's just what I want out of a motor on a bike. It was pretty much perfect. Power's just like I can go on forever about the motor, but how much I loved it. But another phenomenal part about the bike was like the brakes and the clutch. They worked pretty. Like the brakes were just so smooth, and they weren't super aggressive. Like on my 125 I had that day, you hit the front brake a little bit and it almost locks up. It's super strong, super grabby. That can be good. I'll put up a video of why that's not good for me. But the brakes on this bike were super progressive, and they felt super refined. Like my 250F, they're super weak. That 125, they're super strong, and on this bike they just felt so refined and like buttery smooth. They didn't feel super grabby. They didn't feel they felt almost perfect. Like I don't want to say perfect because I bet there's better brakes out there, but it felt really good. Same thing as the hydraulic clutch. I've never had a hydraulic clutch or ever ridden a bike with a hydraulic clutch before, and it felt super good. It felt super smooth. I don't know. It felt lighter. I want a hydraulic clutch now. Yeah. Now I need a hydraulic clutch. I don't know how I'm gonna get one on my YZ, but I'm gonna have to look, see how to do that. The suspension was nothing to write home about. I don't know, it's just normal. It felt alright. I wasn't pushing it really hard, so it's not like I'll really know that much. And it wasn't like I was riding it all day, so I don't know how it changes over the day. I mean, it just felt like normal suspension. It wouldn't be like a driving factor in whether I purchase the bike or not, but I will say that my Yamaha suspension is much better. Like all the Yamahas I've ridden, the suspension, well, not much better, but it's just marginally better. It wouldn't be like if I was choosing between a KTM and a Yamaha right now, suspension would not be my big driving factor in which one I would buy. It's definitely like, to me, it's not something that'll mark this bike down or be the reason why I wouldn't buy it. It's just like, it's alright. It does its job. Now let's talk about the fit and finish. The fit and finish was super good. The bike handled really well. It was set up a little bit differently than how I have some of my bikes set up, but it handled pretty good. Like I said, the fit and finish was really good. It felt pretty good in my hands. Everything felt nice. It's like a dirt bike. It's a dirt bike, you know. They're kind of, that part of it's kind of feels somewhat similar. It did feel really fat in the front. I don't know if that's just the gas, but it felt super fat. It felt fat overall in between my legs. That actually would be another reason why I wouldn't buy the bike, because how fat it was compared to the other bikes that I've ridden. Never owned a bike that fat. I bet I could get used to it over time, but kind of like the way I don't know, the way I squeeze the bike, it's not the best. And like, since I've spent pretty much my entire riding time on skinny bikes, the fatness was just something that threw me off. Even coming off of a Yamaha, it felt much fatter than my Yamaha. And also, like, when you would stick your leg out, I felt like I was putting it out in the middle of nowhere to my left, like super far out. That's just because of how like fat the bike was. Also, like, I don't know, just makes your legs stick out really far out to the left. I didn't like that. Well, that's if you're steering left. But if you are putting your leg out, it feels like it's further out than what would normally be when I ride my Yamahas. But the real main focus of this video is why I'll never own a KTM, or most likely will never own a KTM. I probably will at some point, just not in the near future. One part I think about a lot is the maintenance. I'm a broke college kid. I have to do all my maintenance myself. It can be kind of annoying, but it is what it is. I love riding, so it's really nothing to me. So this is a photo of me replacing the main bearings on a 23 FC250 motor. Unlike most manufacturers, you have to put the case into an oven, or like me, an old barbecue pit. To actually like get the main bearings out, you have to heat it up to the right temperature and they'll fall out. They do a bunch of shit like that on the KTM where it just makes it like more annoying than the other brands. There is some stuff that's easier, like the part where like the fuel injection is, it kind of is on top of, like, it's located on top of the tank, and so you can hook it and like hook it off real easily and you won't like spill gas all over the place. That's nice, but I think it's also located there because there'd be no other place to locate it, because you can't really stick it on the bottom since the frame kind of runs down the middle of the gas tank. And just like some other parts are just like much harder to take off. Like when I took off this head and cylinder, it was really hard. You had to like squeeze it in and out, and even like the video I was watching, the guy's like, it's almost impossible to get it off, but it's just like you're just barely able to do it. I can't remember if I just at that point just took the entire motor out or actually took it off one piece at a time. The quality of the metal, I feel like, is just a little bit less. It feels a little bit softer. I know on like the bike I had, a lot of the bolts were like gummed up, and that throws me off of the bike a lot, because I don't want my hardware to get old, and like it seems like it would get beat up a little bit easier, which to me is a big deal because I like to keep my bikes for a decent amount of time. Like especially like my Yamaha, I'm hoping to keep that forever as like a little backup bike, just a fun thing. And so when it comes to things like little bolts and stuff, that matters to me. I bet for like most people it doesn't matter, because it's really not that big of a deal. If the bolts get old, just replace them. It's like not a big deal, but if it is to you, then it's just something to think about. The way a lot of people like to gain stability out of their bikes is by tightening down the triple clamps, like on the head stay. You really can't do that with the KTMs. It's really hard to, like, the way they have it set up, that like top bolt is like, there's not a whole lot of threads on it, and you can't tighten it down super hard. And so if you want to have like that front head stay to be nice and tight and to like gain stability, you can't really do that on the KTMs. Or like, I don't know, I haven't seen anybody else able to do it, but I've seen some of my friends struggle. And also when I took apart an FC250, the head stay, the triple clamp threads were pretty much ruined because I'm guessing the person before me tried to like tighten the crap out of them to get the head stay a little bit tighter, and even then it wasn't even that tight. So that part for some people is definitely going to be an issue. For me, it would be an issue just because I would like to be able to tighten them down a little bit more, or without having to get new trip clamps. The biggest problem I have with KTM is the frame. It's not because it's a steel frame. It's not because that like they stretch over time and things like that. To me, it's just like the width of the frame, the way I squeeze the bike, it doesn't allow me to squeeze it very well. I squeeze a lot with my ankles, and I really need that thick aluminum frame to get a good grip on the bike. I like to rest my knees on the sides of the bike. You'll never really see a gap between there, but I don't like to squeeze real hard with my legs. Some of you might in the comments be like, oh, you're just a weak boy with your legs. That machine at the gym where you squeeze your legs, the last time I was at a gym that had one of those, I maxed it out and did like 20. My legs are plenty strong in that part, and just the way the KTM bikes are set up, I just can't get the grip. And the same thing is like with the YZ250F and the YZ125, or not the YZ250F, the YZ250 two-stroke and the YZ125 two-stroke. The frames are just so thin, it's hard for me to get like a real good grip on them. And when I hit jumps like and stuff like that, my feet will kind of float up and the bike will kind of get away from me. It's not that I'm not squeezing, because on the side you'll see on the frame like there's scuff marks from like where I'm trying to squeeze the bike, but just those frames are just too thin for me to get like a really good grip like I would want. And that's just like a deciding factor for me. I just can't, if I can't grip the bike, I'm not going to be comfortable and I'm not going to want the bike. So for me, that's like the major factor and the reason why I'll never own a KTM. I wish they had like different things, that they put different things that like flared out the frames a bit that could make them better. I know they do have like it's not a grip tape, but it's like a frame cover thing that's plastic, and those help a lot with grip, but it's not enough. I like my aluminum frames because of that, and I don't think I could switch over anytime soon just because of that reason. But now let's get into the fun part of this conversation, which is talking about a YZ350. I would buy one pretty much immediately. I would sell my left nut, actually my right nut, that one's, yeah. I would definitely sell my right nut for a YZ350F right now. The motors of like a 350s are just so good in the way they just run. You have all this power when you need it. When you don't have to have that power. It's perfect. And if I could get that motor and a YZ chassis, I would be happy for life. I'm not even gonna lie. I would immediately sell my right ball for a YZ350F right now. I just wish they would make it. I don't know why they don't make it. I do realize that, what's it called, KTM's 350F, or just their KTM's 350 is their most popular bike. It's like their most sold bike, but that's also because they're the only ones selling that bike. So if you divided that up between more manufacturers, it probably wouldn't be their most sold bike. So I think that's probably the main reason why other manufacturers don't jump into that market. I wish they would. I'm just like in that position where I'm not quite ready enough for a 252 stroke, but I also want something with more power than my 250F, but I don't want a KTM. So I'm in this weird spot. I just wish they would make a YZ350F. Plus I love the plannedness of a 4-stroke, even though you might even see footage of me riding a 125 in this video, and I do own a 125. I'm trying to sell it. In conclusion, KTM needs to switch to aluminum frames, but no, but like actually I just wish YZ would make a 350F right now. I don't know why they don't. There's clearly a market for it, and also anybody who rides will just tell you that 350F is like the best size. tell me in the comments below why you dislike or love KTM. They're definitely a good brand. They do a lot for the sport, and they're really the only brand that's like just does dirt bikes. Like Yamaha, they have a whole like music department. They do like boats and different crap. Kawasaki is a big engine company. Honda cars and all that other crap. But KTM is really that like brand that's just like the only brand that's just focused on dirt bikes. And it's cool to see that in the sport. Or really like big brand. Of course, there's brands like Beta, TM, but they're like the only big brand that does it.